Okay, welcome to Jack of all trades. Today we're going to service the spark plugs and show you how to replace all 4 coils, fishing wire harness. Some would call this a tune-up. Tune-up used to be used for older style cars, but today the newer style cars use computer control fuel injection. Everything today in the average car uses computer control fuel, spark, air mixture to run your car. So I consider it a tune-up replacing the following items according to Hyundai Service 1, 2, 3, 4. This would include replacing the accessory belts, which are on this side over here, like the AC belt, alternator belt, power steering belt. That's on my website. I have a video on that. Including this service would be the engine air filter, which is right underneath this magnetic tray here. The in-cab filter, which is in the glove box, and the fuel tank air filter, which is underneath the wheel well on the driver side rear wheel well. I have a video on that too. Don't forget to flush the coolant once a year, regardless of what the manufacturer says. Transmission fluid right down in here should be changed every 2 years or every 48,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. Placing your timing belt on this side right here every 4 years or every 90 to 100,000 kilometers. Reason for this is an interference engine, and the pistons and the valves are timed by the rubber belt, and if the belt slips or breaks, the timing could be thrown off. If this happens, the timing is thrown off too much, the valves will be open and the pistons come up, will hit the valves, bend it, and cause internal engine damage. This could be rebuilding the inside of your engine, replacing the engine, and you're talking $5,000 to $6,000, I'm guessing, for a new engine. So most of these services are covered by my YouTube Jack of all trades channel. Today we're going to show you the cost, part numbers, detailed information you need to know to perform a tune-up on the ignition system. You will need some basic tools that you can find at any local automotive store. I suggest a torque wrench that covers 20 to 250 foot-pound. Let me see if I can grab that. We're going to use this for the plastic parts, because they should be torqued down or you'll break them, and I'll show you the reason why later. Torque and bolting on engine covers, spark plugs, plastic covers are important because if things are not torqued properly, they may come loose, or if you're tightening them too tight, you may strip the threads or break the plastic. You do not want to re-tab spark plug threads, so I suggest you use your torque wrench when you put spark plugs in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start the engine, we're going to warm it up, and then shut it off, and then we'll continue. Okay, now that the engine is shut off and it's warmed up to operating temperature, we're going to remove the engine plastic cover. These are 10mm bolts. Actually, I believe all the bolts are 10mm on this car for this job. So let's remove this plastic cover now. Now I've already broke these loose, so they're just pretty much hand tight. I'm going to undo all these 4 bolts right here, one here and one here, and make sure you put them in a dish so you don't lose them. And then we're going to lift this cover off. We'll wipe it down, clean it, and then we're going to see what's under the cover. Okay, I find a magnetic tool like this works really good. You can get yourself into the bolts there once you got them loose. You can just pop them out like that. Works really handy. Comes in handy. So I'll take these bolts off here. You can use a drill too. I have a attachment that goes on my drill to zing these out. So just time saver. Okay, take the cover off. Put that aside. Now, let's see what's next. Okay, so what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to remove the wire harness bracket, and that's going to be this thing here. Now I have a little crack here. This is what I'm trying to explain, that you need to torque these down light. If you do these too tight, you will crack the plastic parts. That's why I'm stressing this. This is like 2.6 pounds of torque. That's it. So you probably just do these hand tight, get away with it, or you can use a torque wrench, whatever you want. So these are 10mm bolts. There's one here, and there's one over here. We're going to remove those right now, and then we're going to remove the wire harness and push it up. And once again, your tool comes in handy just to grab the bolts, and that way they don't lose them. There you go. So now you got wire harness loose. You're just going to put that aside. What happens is your ignition wire runs through here, and then it runs to the back through here, and then out and splits here. So this keeps the wire from fraying, like getting damaged. Okay, so now next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna want to locate the wire harness that feeds the 4 coils and unplug the wire harness. What I mean by that is right here. This is basic. Now say you gotta replace this piece here. This is what you're gonna do. So you're gonna want to remove the wire harness from the coils. You need to pull back the lock pin and locate, which is located, I don't know if you can see this, right here. And the push clip, you're going to push the clip up. So let's see here. Okay, we zoomed in on one of the coils and the wire harness that connects to it, the ignition wire harness. I'm going to show you how to do this here. You're going to want to this lock pin here, you want to pull it out like that. And once that's pulled out, then you're just going to push the button. It's pretty basic to disconnect the ignition wire from the coil. So that's how you do it. What you're going to do is you're going to want to do that to all 4. There's 4 spark plugs, 4 of these run across. You can do it to each one, and that'll let you remove this whole wire harness. So to remove the coil from the cylinder, we're going to use a 10mm bolt, and then we're going to pull the coil out of the cylinder. So these bolts here, they're on each one of the coils. It's just one bolt, 10mm. So we're going to remove that right now. Okay, so now that we've removed the wire harness, I just showed you a close-up of, you need to remove the coil from the cylinder. This is a 10mm bolt. You break this loose, just put it in your tray. Now, you pull the coil out of the cylinder, just like that. This is cylinder 1. If you suspect a bad coil, you can order Hyundai OEM part, which I'm holding, 2730-126640. This will set you back $105 per coil. If you suspect a misfire or a damaged wire harness, which is this thing here, which I unplugged earlier, you'll need to head over to your local Hyundai dealership and order the OEM wire harness. Part number, this is 273506. No, 273-502-6620. This will cost you $144. So you'll need a 10-inch extension. Let's put the coil aside there. I'll show you like this. This is 10 inches. I measured it. Okay. You're going to need a 16mm spark plug. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to zoom in. You see inside there, there's a rubber grommet in there. What that does is, I'll show you when I get the spark plug out. It grabs onto the spark plug and it stops it from, it gets you to pull it out easy and then put it back in easy without breaking the porcelain on the spark plug. So you're going to want to make sure that you use a leaf blower or compressed air or whatever. You can have leaves and crap in here. Make sure you clean it. I already cleaned all this prior to videotaping this. But you're going to want to clean it. You don't want anything to drop into the holes here. You want to make sure it's all free from debris. There's absolutely no dirt on there. So what we're going to do now is, I just showed you the rubber plug inside the spark plug socket. This one here is 16mm, or because it's Canadian Tire, it's 5/8. That's the measurement of the spark plug for these spark plugs. So, and I'm going to show you how to remove the spark plug. And we're going to remove all other 3 spark plugs the same way. And when you do, so let's do that right now. Okay, now you're looking at cylinder 1. The extension's in there. And you're just going to see how it grabs the spark plug and it holds it. That's your spark plug. So that's how you remove the spark plug on a 2009 Hyundai Accent. Okay, I just showed you a close-up of the spark plug. If you need to replace spark plugs, I suggest you purchase the Hyundai OEM spark plugs. These Hornets are horrible. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Okay. So, always replace all 4 spark plugs at the same time. Hyundai uses 2 brands of unleaded spark plugs. NGK BKR5 ES-11. That's this one I'm holding right now. This is a Platinum V Power, part number 18814-11051, which costs $4.99 per spark plug. Or you can use the Champion. They're RC10YC4 spark plugs. You have 2 options. They both work. I use NGK spark plugs in my 2009 Hyundai Accent GLS 4-door 1.6 liter DOHC engine. The gap on these spark plugs should be 1.0 to 1.1 millimeters, or 0.0394 to 0.0433 inches. And what I mean by gap, the gap right there between the electrode and this piece of metal here. Now these are pre-gapped right from the package, so you no need to gap these. Let's see here, get these back in focus. There's no need to gap these. You can purchase these at any auto parts store. A gapper tool, which fits in there. I'll show you a picture of it later. So you can use different tools to measure that. Now let's take a look at the spark plugs themselves. If you see dark deposits, now this spark plug looks good. That's a little dark there, but it's nothing to be worried about. I'm talking like really black, dark deposits. Let's see here. Means your fuel mixture is too rich or you have low air intake. So if you see white deposits, that means your fuel mixture is too lean and you have an advanced ignition timing issue or have insufficient plug tightening torque. That's where the tight torque wrench comes in. So this is a good looking spark plug. You want your spark plugs to be looking like this when you pull them out. And if you're not sure, pull the other 3 out and compare them, and they should all be looking the same. So that's basically a good rule. If you suspect a misfire, there are 2 simple tests you can do to eliminate spark plugs or coils from the equation. And I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, step 1 is a simple test. Misfire, cylinder 1. What you're going to want to do is you're going to take your coil, and you're going to want to, this is so you don't need any like meters or any oscilloscope. This is just a basic test, elimination. So the average guy can do at home. Step 1 is to swap out the coils between the cylinders to clear misfire code with the scan tool. So you're going to take this one coil, put into this one, and take this one and put into this one. And I use a program called Torque Pro on my Nexus smartphone.